Hey, good morning. I'm on my way out of the Tip O'Neill building, the U.S. State Department building, leaving an appointment we had to make at the last moment for our daughter Necha, who's going to study abroad for a year. I want to tell you the story and the remarkable woman who helped me, but before that I want to connect it to the Torah portion and something very beautiful. So, in this week's Torah portion, we begin the Torah portion, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha b'chal sharecha. God tells you have to put police, judges and police in all your cities that God gives you to make sure that we're follow law-abiding people who follow the law and do what has to be done. But on Shabbos Nachamu, Shabbos of comfort, we read from Isaiah. And Isaiah, when he speaks about the future vision of redemption, says it a little different. He says, He says that God will bring back our judges as before. But instead of speaking about police officers, he uses the word yoatzayich, which means advisors. And the question is why? And not only that, but thrice every day in our Amidah, the words of Isaiah made it in. What do we say every morning in the prayer? We don't speak about police officers, we speak about advisors, about counselors, about coaches. Why? So in a remarkable talk, the Rebbe says that in the time of redemption, in the time of Messianic era, everyone will want to do the right thing. Everyone will want to be connected to the right thing and do what they're supposed to do. And therefore we won't need police officers. But the question is, how do you get to that day where you won't need officers to tell people what to do? And for that, the Rebbe says that in our times, as we're on the cusp of a redemption era, that we need to have counselors and we need to have advisors. What's the difference between a judge and a counselor? It's very simple. A judge tells you what he tells you coming from a place of law and the power that the law gives him. And he tells you how you have to do here to protect the law, and that's what interests him. It doesn't make a difference how you accept it and if you like it. He tells you what the law is, if you like it or not. But when it comes to a coach doesn't come from perspective of law. A coach is there, someone that you hire, who has your interests in mind, not someone else's interests. And therefore they make sure that they're doing what's tailored for your life to make sure that you understand what's best for you. It says the Rebbe that in our days, the way we have to educate our children is not by telling them you have to do this or that, but by explaining them that they're at the center of the world, because everything in the Torah is there for them to be happy, for them to be kind, for them to have morals and values, for them to be able to look and do the right thing. It's a remarkable idea. And the Rebbe says that we have to think about this a lot, because what's the whole idea of redemption? The whole idea of redemption is revealing the inner essence of the person and letting them understand that we are at the epicenter of the world. And that's why Isaiah speaks about shoftayich v'yoatzayich. He speaks about coaches, not about officers. You know, we live in a generation where everyone's having a coach, someone that's going to guide them and tell them what they have to do and how they have to do it. You know, 11 or 12 weeks ago, Gurney and I, Necha went to the U.S. Post Office to make a passport. Her passport was expiring. She's going to study for a year abroad. And everything was fine. 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And then we realized the time is coming close. We have to go to Israel. So exactly within the 2 weeks, which was last Friday, 10 days ago, I called the hotline with the number and I asked them, what's going on? My passport. I said, could I expedite it even quicker? And I paid an extra fee. But then Monday came, they said, I'll see the charge and I'll see the update. Nothing. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm nervous. Suddenly Monday morning comes and we have no passport. She's supposed to leave on Thursday. How are we going to go to Israel? What do I do? So I called Congressman Jake Auchincloss' office, who's our local congressman. You know, usually we think of congressmen that they don't have our interests in mind. They're not here for us. They're just focused on Washington, on policy. But immediately, he connected me to a woman in his office, Catarina. And Catarina is a remarkable human being. And from the moment I called her, she came across to me not as an officer, not someone working for the State Department who doesn't care what you say or how. She was empathetic. She felt like a coach. She was caring. She guided me. She said, I promise you I'm going to help you. She reached out to the office immediately and tried to help find out what's going on with my passport. So our passport was in the LA office. So she connected me to the LA office and she wrote them an email. And she usually takes 24 hours. I said, but it's getting late. She said, listen, if by Tuesday we don't hear from them, then I'll reach out to the passport agency in Massachusetts and Boston and see what they could do to help me to make an emergency appointment. Well, yesterday at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, she hears back from the LA office that our passport was suspended. Why? Because she filled out the wrong form and the picture wasn't good. But it didn't make sense to us. We went to the post office that does it for the State Department, and they took the picture and they gave us the form. In any case, what are we going to do now? Immediately, she called the passport agency in Boston and arranged us an appointment for today, 8:30 in the morning. In the most remarkable way, she guided us and made sure that we were able to have the appointment. We went to the appointment today. We paid all the extra fees, and we will have a passport by 3 p.m. today so she can fly tomorrow. What's remarkable to me, for 12 weeks, no one got back to us. Yesterday, they let the congressman's office know that, at 12, that yesterday they let us know that on Tuesday, they sent out a letter to let us know that it was suspended. 12 weeks after we signed up. And they send it to the wrong address. But if not for this lovely woman, Catarina, who was so caring and so helpful to make sure that we could get to our flights on time, it was remarkable. I never dealt with a congressman's office in that way. I never was able to connect to them in a way that was personal, that was local. And here I felt like the words of Isaiah, we have judges and we have advisors, not officers who just tell you, listen, your passport's suspended, the picture was wrong, this was wrong. We don't care. It was people that had empathy, people that cared for you, were looking out for you, what's good for you. And it made me think that the experience that I just had in the last 2 days and today is really what Isaiah is speaking about, and is really what we need. You think about what's going on in America, you think about what's going around the world. What we need is empathy for each other. What we need is people who don't see you and just read you the law without having a heart, without feeling for you, without understanding what you need and how you need. In any case, our saga has come to a good end. I wasn't sure it would, because for 2 days we were stonewalled without knowing where the passport was and what would happen. But Baruch Hashem it did. May it be the will of God, as we say thrice every day in the prayers. May He return our judges and our advisors. May we be a generation who teaches, who inspires, who shows love. God bless.